Hello everybody, it's John Cox from the Wild About Harry blog, and I am very excited to join you all for International Escapology Day today. Now, I'm not an escape artist, so I'm not going to demonstrate an escape. Instead, I'm going to talk about why we celebrate International Escapology Day on September 21st. Turns out this has everything to do with Harry Houdini's greatest escape, so I give you a brief history of Houdini's water torture cell. Now, the story of Houdini's water torture cell really begins with his milk can escape. This was his first on-stage, death-defying water escape, and it was a sensation. But he made a mistake. He was so proud of his invention that he patented it. But this just gave a blueprint to magic manufacturers to make milk cans that they sold to Houdini's competition. So a couple years later, Houdini evolved the escape. He would now be locked in his milk can, but the milk can would then be locked in this chest. And to build the chest, Houdini hired a new assistant, Jim Collins. And Collins created a real masterpiece. Now, I don't want to reveal any secrets, but I will tell you there are principles in this chest that would later find their way into the water torture cell. And it was probably this chest that inspired Collins and Houdini to begin to work together on something wholly new. That new escape would see Houdini suspended upside down in a tank filled with 250 gallons of water. The tank was made of mahogany with a glass front so the audience could see Houdini the whole time. Now, the idea of being suspended upside down, I think, is really the masterstroke. In fact, Houdini called this the upside down, or the USD. But of course, it became known publicly as the water torture cell and later the Chinese water torture cell. He wasn't going to make the same mistake he had made with the milk can. He didn't patent anything. Instead, he did something very clever. He wrote the water torture cell into a play, which he performed only once in England in 1911, and this enabled him to get a license, essentially a copyright. So if people imitated his act, he was still able to go after them legally. Even though he had performed his play in 1911, he held the escape back for a year. And then he debuted it on September 21st, 1912, at the Circus Busch in Berlin, Germany. It was an immediate sensation, and it became the feature escape that Houdini did for the remainder of his career. He did change it up from time to time. At one point, he devised this elaborate outer cage with 22 padlocks, and he would invite audience members to come on stage and lock up the cell. There was also a gentleman who saw Houdini perform the escape in 1923 who claims Houdini did it in full view of the audience. And unlike Tony Curtis in the 1953 biopic Houdini, Houdini did not die in his water torture cell. He survived each and every time. Okay, now, if you remember my little teaser video for International Escapology Day, I said I had found a photograph that I had never seen, and I know has never been published, of Houdini inside of his water torture cell, and I would reveal that picture today. Well, here it is. Great image, huh? Houdini on stage, inside of the torture cell, his assistant standing by. You'll recognize this was probably taken at the same time as that famous image of Houdini hanging over the tank. But this one shows him inside, a good straight-ahead shot. Now, the reason you rarely see straight-ahead images of the water torture cell, they're almost always taken at an angle, is you see that the flash pan from the camera reflected very badly, made the image unusable, which is probably why we've never seen it. If you want to learn more about Houdini's water torture cell, check out my blog, wildabouthoudini.com. At the moment, I have 161 posts that are related in one way or another to the water torture cell. Thanks for watching my presentation, and I wish everyone a safe and happy International Escapology Day.